Alright, so there's been a new Greenville update. This update has added a lot of cool stuff and many new cars. And by many, I mean even more than last update, which was 100 plus new/updated cars including trims. This update has 120 new cars including updated cars and trims. Yeah, that's quite a few. I'll be starting off with showing my favorite new thing in the update, the new TruckPlanet, formerly known in game as Toys for Trucks. Here it is, the new TruckPlanet building. Toys for Trucks has pretty much always been my favorite classic building in Greenville, and now I'm pretty sure it's my favorite building in the entire game. This building is pretty neat, and something else that's cool about it is that it's evolving in game as it is in real life. Back around 2016 when the Greenville game was made, Toys for Trucks in real life looked similar to how it did in game up until this update. In real life since 2016 it has evolved and looks similar to how it currently does in game, and in my opinion that adds to the cool factor of this building. I'll start off with one of the most noticeable changes to the building, the garage. It's quite a large garage area, there's 3 very tall garage doors, and when you come inside, it's very spacious. There's quite a few boxes on the sides of the garage, as well as a very large fan on the ceiling that spins. There's some smaller fans around as well, ladders, lights, and more. One of the coolest things in the garage are these 3 cans over here, auto enamel, undercoating, and rust preventive. You can actually equip these cans and use them. You can click and it sprays. I believe all 3 of them do the same thing. I believe these cans are just for roleplay, but I actually think they're really cool. Hopefully we get more roleplay features like this in the future for other buildings. Coming inside of the main part of the building, there's some pictures on the wall, mostly of modified vehicles, as well as these 2 Jeeps. This Jeep looks to have rock stars. Over here is an office. It looks like whoever works in this office has interesting taste. In the middle of the building there's some bed caps being displayed. It appears some of them are different lengths than others as well. Over here there are shelves of wheels and tires. Here are all the wheels on the shelves. On this wall there are some flags. A picture of a Silverado with giant GMC snowflake wheels, a table with police light bars. Under the table there are some boxes. Over here there is a picture of a Western Motors synth, which we do not have in game yet, but hopefully soon. Over here there's some car stereos. Here's the front desk, it says TruckPlanet on the front. On the wall behind the counter there are some banners of some vehicle brands. We've got a Western Motors synth banner, a normal Western Motors banner, a Ford Motorsports banner, a normal Ford banner, a Chevy Racing banner, a normal Chevy banner, an SRT banner, a Dodge banner, a Jeep banner, and over here on this wall we have a Hummer banner, a Toyota banner, a Suzuki banner, a Greenville Volunteer Fire Rescue banner, Wisconsin DOT banner, an Outagamie County Sheriff banner, a Wisconsin State Patrol banner, and over here we have a Mercedes banner. And right here we've got the flatbed and dump bed off the 89 Cheyenne 3500 trims, as well as gray versions of them on this table. That's pretty much all for the new Toys for Trucks, well, besides these dumpsters back here. I definitely like this building and plan to come here a lot more often in roleplays. Next up, all the convertibles now have a button to toggle the roof. Here's what the button looks like, and here's how the roofs look when they open. There are currently 10 convertibles in game with this toggle, not including trims if I'm correct. All of them are currently marked with the exclamation point in the dealer. Also, some vehicles that used to have separate open and closed top trims now have one trim, like this Jeep I'm in. And lastly, for this section of the video, steering wheels on convertibles now move, and your character's hands are on the steering wheel. Next up, saving fuel has returned. The days of having basically unlimited free fuel are no more. Now on respawning your car or rejoining the game, your fuel should stay the same. MPG miles per gallon has come with saving fuel, and each car has an MPG count. As you might imagine, the higher the MPG, the longer it takes to run out of fuel. Something cool that I don't actually know if it's new or not, but I recently noticed is when you get in a car that has no fuel, the chime plays. I don't know why, but I just find that really neat. Next, there's a new specs tab for all cars in the dealer. This shows some of the specifications and statistics of the car, including top speed, horsepower, miles per gallon, or range for hybrid and electric cars, weight, drivetrain type, and number of seats. This will be quite helpful for some people deciding on what car to purchase. Here's how it looks. It shows top speed, horsepower, miles per gallon, weight, drivetrain, and seating. Next, there are two new prop buildings. Both of them are behind Toys for Truck / TruckPlanet. Here's the first prop building. This is a printing office. There are some dumpsters over there, and a cell tower, which makes this building a bit easier to find from far away. Also, there's a parking lot on that side of the building. I actually went on Google Maps and found the real building, and it's cool to see how accurate the building in game is. Coming down the road a little bit, here's the other new prop building. This one's pretty big, and the parking lot is also quite big. I think this building is a warehouse. Not too much else to say about this place, but it's pretty nice. Next up, there is a new option in settings. For a while, we've had options for steering speed and braking mode, and now we have an option for acceleration. This is called acceleration mode in settings, underneath braking mode above auto flip. There are two options: instant, basically how it was before, and smooth, where you ease into the throttle. It takes a bit of getting used to at first, but I think this is a feature that I'll probably use in roleplay servers because I'm starting to like it after getting more used to it. I don't think smooth acceleration is all that noticeable on video, but it's pretty noticeable when you're driving a car in game. Nonetheless, here's a quick comparison of both settings. Now for some other miscellaneous, if you will, updates that I'll go over quickly. First, there are now Canadian plates in the DMV. Next, cars that have automatic lights in real life now have automatic lights in game. For example, this Ford F-150. I'll get in it, and if I press L once, it shows the light icon with an A next to it toward the middle of the gas gauge. Once it becomes night, your headlights will turn on automatically. If you still want to toggle the lights by yourself, press L again to toggle the lights manually. There are 6 new prop cars: this Ford Mustang prop car, this Dodge Challenger prop car, this Chevy Malibu prop car, this new Honda Civic prop car, this Volkswagen Beetle prop car, and lastly this Ford Fusion prop car. They also added new music in the dealership. I believe the music is likely different for each person when they join the game, and after one song ends, another starts. They also added DisplayName support on the player list, so if you have a DisplayName, it will show it along with your normal username. There's also a new setting for mobile devices, which is realistic automatic. I assume it's similar to the realistic shifting option on a computer where you shift through park, reverse, neutral, drive, and sport. And now it is time to start showing off the cars. I will only be showing the specs and doing more in-depth reviews of certain cars. As well, in the dealer, I won't be going over convertibles that were already in the game before this update. First up, the 2008 Dodge Charger was remodeled. Trims include the base trim, the SFP8, SRT8 in real life trim. Here are the specs. The police package decom, the TR Canaveral, the premium, the TR, the SFP8 yellow jacket, SRT8 Super B in real life, and here are the rim options. Here are a few comparisons of the SFP8 trim before and after the update. Next is the Wisconsin State Patrol version of the 2008 Charger. There are 2 different trims, the WSP trim and the GV2 trim, which is the recreation of the Greenville Beta V2 Wisconsin State Patrol Charger. There are 2 different rim options. And here are the specs on the GV2 trim. Here's how it looks spawned out, and also here's the new in-depth review location. I figured I'd change the location to the Toys for Trucks garage since it's a big open space indoors, my favorite building in game, and it's literally right across the street from the old location. So anyways, back to the Charger. This charger, like I said earlier, is a recreation of the Greenville Beta V2 WSP charger. It has the same livery, light bar, sirens, plastic texture paint, and it's an SRT8. The original version of this car was also in Greenville Beta V3 for, I believe, the whole version of the game actually. However, it was only on sale toward the beginning of GV3 Beta, then it went off sale and became what I think was the first ever limited car in Greenville. It might have been the rarest limited car in Greenville of all time, since I don't think anyone was expecting it to go off sale and Greenville wasn't nearly as popular as it is now. Also, this car actually sounds different from the normal SRT8. Here's how it sounds. Here are the police lights. Look just like the lights in Greenville Beta V2. Here's the first siren. Second siren. And third siren. Here's the horn. Now for a 0 to 100 in braking test. Next is the 2009 Suzuki XL7. There are a couple different trims. The base 5 front wheel drive trim, the limited 7 all wheel drive trim, the base 7 front wheel drive trim. There's one rim option. Next is the 2012 Ford Fusion. There are a couple different trims, the S front wheel drive trim, the hybrid front wheel drive, the SEL all wheel drive, the SE front wheel drive, the Sport all wheel drive, and here are the rim options. Next is the 2013 Dodge Challenger. There are a couple different trims, the premium trim, the TR trim, the SFP8, SRT8 in real life trim, and the SFP10, SRT10 in real life trim. Here are the specs of this trim. 176 mph top speed, 530 horsepower, 18.5 mpg, 3,975 pounds, rear wheel drive and 4 seats. Here are the rim options. Here's how the SFP10 trim looks spawned out. This is a concept car in real life with the Dodge Viper engine. Here's how it sounds. Next is the 2013 Volkswagen Scirocco. There are a couple different trims, the Tech GT 1.4T TSI, the Tech GT Add Blue 2.0 TDI, and the R 2.0T TSI. Here are the rim options. Since we're on the topic of the Scirocco, I'll just mention right now that there's a 2017 that was added as well as a separate listing in the dealer. There's one trim and one rim option. Next is the 2014 Toyota Highlander. There are a few different trims, the LE front wheel drive, the LE Plus all wheel drive, the limited front wheel drive, the XLE all wheel drive, the limited Plus V6 all wheel drive, and the Platinum all wheel drive. And here are the rim options. Next up is the 2015 Chevy Volt. There is one trim, here are the specs, and there are two rim options. Next is the 2019 Buick Cascada. There are two different trims, the Premium and the Sport Touring trim. There are two rim options. Here are the specs for the Sport Touring trim. Here's how it looks spawned out. This is the Sport Touring trim. It's a convertible and I have the roof down right now. Here's the interior. It looks really nice. Also, I'd like to thank Hunter for giving me free cam. It's really helpful for stuff like this and thumbnails and whatnot. Also, if you're wondering, you cannot access this in-game normally, but I believe they have a photo mode planned at some point for everyone. Anyways, back to the car, here's how it sounds. Here are the lights, hazards, brake lights, horn. When you're in the car, the screen on the dash turns on and some buttons light up. Also, when you get in the car, the seatbelt pops out. I'll hop out and you might be able to notice it go back in. There it goes. Here's how it looks with the roof on. Honestly, I like this car more than I thought I would, and I like the way it drives as well. Speaking of driving, here's a 0 to 100 in braking test. Next up is the 2020 BMW 3 Series, which has new trims and new rims. I'm not sure which ones are the new ones, but here are all the trims currently available. The rear-wheel drive 2.0T Sportline, the rear-wheel drive 2.0T M Sport, the all-wheel drive 2.0T Sportline, the all-wheel drive 3.0T M Performance Shadow Edition, the all-wheel drive 3.0T M Performance, the rear-wheel drive 3.0T M Performance, and here are the rim options. Next is the 2020 BMW Z4. This is another convertible. Here are the trims available. The rear-wheel drive 2.0T Sportline, the rear-wheel drive 2.0T M Sport, the rear-wheel drive 3.0T M Performance Shadow Edition, the rear-wheel drive 3.0T M Performance. Here are the rim options. Here's how it looks spawned out. This one is the rear-wheel drive 3.0T M Performance. Here's the interior, very detailed. Here's how it sounds. Here are the lights, hazards, horn test. When you are inside the car, the screen on the dash turns on, and something cool is that when the headlights are turned on, the map on the screen changes to a night-looking map, and the time on the screen changes as well. There's also blue lighting around the interior, which looks pretty nice. Thanks to Gabe for showing me this. Here's what it looks like with the roof on. Now for a 0 to 100 in braking test. Next is the 2020 Rolls-Royce Dawn. There are 3 different trims, the base trim, the golden trim, and the Eclipse trim. Here are the specs on the Eclipse trim. There are 2 rim options. This is how the Eclipse trim looks spawned out. Here's how the interior looks. Here's how it sounds. Here's how the lights look when they're on. Here's the hazards. Brake lights. Horn test. Here's what it looks like with the roof on. Here's what the interior looks like with the lights on. If you're wondering, all 3 trims appear to have different interiors. Here's a picture from the Future Updates channel in the Greenville Discord of all 3 trims shown with the roofs down. And here's the 0 to 100 in braking test. Next is the 2022 Subaru Ascent. There are a couple different trim options, the base trim, the premium trim, the limited trim, the touring trim, and here are the rim options. Next is the 2020 Toyota Camry. This car has a lot of trims which I won't be going over because it'll probably take me a full minute to say all of the trim names, but this car has quite a few trims. Here are the rims. And while we're on the topic of the Camry, here's the 2021 Camry, which is a separate listing in the dealership. I'm not quite sure what's different between the two, but I think this has similar trims to the 2020. Alright, next up, the previously 2018, now 2021 Dodge Challenger has 3 new trims, updated lights, updated/new rims, and updated sounds for some existing trims. The first new trim is the SFP Blackjack, red eye in real life, here are the specs. Next is the SFP Drag Dart, super stock in real life, here are the specs. Currently the most expensive trim you can buy of this Challenger in game. And the last new trim is the SFP Blackjack Widebody, red eye widebody in real life. Here are the specs. Here's how it looks spawned out. This is the SFP Drag Dart trim. Here's how it sounds. Zero to 100 in braking test. Next is the previously 2017 Dodge Charger, now 2021. Similarly to the Challenger, it has new trims, updated/new rims, redone lights, and new sounds. The first new trim is the GT trim, which is a V6 with all-wheel drive and an SRT body kit. Then there's the fictional GT wide body trim, same as the normal GT, but, well, with a wide body. This trim along with the normal GT do not require a Game Pass. Here's the specs on the wide body. Next is the TR/392 Scaddy widebody, the SFP Fury widebody, and the SFP Blackjack widebody. Here are the specs on this trim. Next is the 2021 Kia Sorento. There are a few different trims: the S Hybrid front wheel drive, the EX front wheel drive, the SX front wheel drive, the EX Hybrid front wheel drive, the SX Prestige all wheel drive. Here are the rim options. Next is the 2021 Mercedes G-Wagon. The 2019 G-Wagon is now off sale. Here are the trims for the 2021, the base trim, the Sport Midnight trim, the Sportline trim, the Sportline Midnight trim, the Sport Plus trim, the Sport trim, the Sport Midnight Plus trim, the Sportline Midnight Plus trim, and the Sport Golden Plus trim. Here are the specs for this trim. And here are the rim options. Here's how it looks spawned out. This one is the Sport Midnight Plus with the black 7 U-spoke rims, and here's how it sounds. Here's how the lights look when they're on. Hazards. Horn test. Here's the 2021 next to the 2019, which is now off sale. These aren't the same trims, but you can notice some differences on the model and notice how the new one is an improvement. Here's a 0 to 100 in braking test. Next is the 2021 Acura TLX. There are 4 different trims: the standard trim, the Type S trim, the advanced trim, and the A-Type trim. Here are the specs on the Type S trim, and here are the rim options. Next is the 2021 Hyundai Elantra. The trims include the SE, the Blue, the SEL, the Limited, and the Limited Hybrid. Here are the rim options. Here's how it looks spawned out. This one is the Type S trim with the shark gray Y-spoke wheels. This is an 8-speed if you're wondering, and here's how it sounds. Light test. Brake lights. Hazards. Now for a 0 to 100 in braking test. Next is the 2021 Volvo XC90. The first trim is the Momentum T5, the R-Design T8 plug-in hybrid, the Inception T8 plug-in hybrid, the Inception T6, the R-Design T6, and here are the rim options. Next, the 2022 Ford Bronco has received some new trims and some new rims. The base trim, the base ultimate trim, the graphite ultimate trim, the Fallout ultimate trim, the Fallout trim, the Beyond trim, the graphite trim, the Beyond ultimate trim, the National ultimate trim, the National trim, and here are the rim options. Next is the 2022 Western Motors Protogen-X, the wagon version of the normal Western Motors Protogen. If you don't know, this is a fictional car. The trims include the S2.4T, the R3.0T, the E2MS dual motor long range, the E3MX tri-motor performance, the XR 3.0T plug-in hybrid, and here are the rim options. And the final car in this update, the 2022 Volkswagen Taos. There's one trim and one rim option, and here are the specs. And that's everything in this update that I'll be covering. This was another epic Greenville update. I really like the new toys for trucks and the new animations for convertibles. There were also some cool vehicles and other cool features as well. Again, I'd like to thank Hunter for giving me free cam. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. See ya.